Hey, alright everybody, how's it going? Now, I got an article by here about how long an EV lasts, and this is based on data and studies, not just stuff you've heard from people down the pub. Okay? Now, unfortunately, if you're an anti-EV person, and I do talk a lot about anti-EV people on this channel, but if you are one of them people, unfortunately, you're going to have to get up, get out your house, grab hold of the goalposts and move them one more time. And it's quite a shift. You've got to move them quite far this time. Now, it started off that batteries only lasted 3 years because an idiotic person called Jeremy Clarkson said they only lasted 3 years, and everybody thought that Jeremy Clarkson was the top scientist on EV batteries. Right, and then that goalpost moved to 5 years after EVs had been around for 5 years and the batteries were still lasting. Then the goalposts were grabbed and shoved to 8 years, and they sort of float now between 8 to 10 years from the people who dislike EVs, and they say things like electric cars are throwaway items, after 8 years they're no good. And I've always said that's a load of old ghoulies, and there's a study here that proves that I'm correct, and you're talking a load of ghoulies. If you're an anti-EV person, that is, who likes moving goalposts. They must have very strong upper bodies, these anti-EV people, because goalposts are quite heavy to shift around, and they keep shifting them quite often. So, how long, with this study by here and the data to back it up, do EVs actually last? And they're sort of generalising, but what they give in here is 18.4 years, and they're saying that they last as long as petrol and diesel alternatives. And there is a study and it's database. Remember, it's not what your mate said in work or down the pub or something you've heard on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. This is a study based on data. They collect loads and loads of data, so the study is going to be a little bit more involved than what's in your bonds and what's in my bonds as well, me included. Okay, the study knows more than what we know, because that's the way data works and studies. Okay, now what does it say then? Now, I know I've read it quite a few times that the average lifespan. Now, I know I'm going to say these words, the average lifespan of a car in the UK, and somebody is going to come in my comment section and they're going to say they got a 25-year-old whatever, or a 30-year-old whatever, but they're the exception to the rule. Okay, they are the exception to the rule. If you said you had let's just try and give an example, you had a 25-year-old Peugeot something or other, okay, 406 for example, and you said it's still on the road, how many of them are actually still on the road? Because how many times do you see a Peugeot 406? I haven't seen one in a very, very long time. So if you own one, you're the exception to the rule. I'm just trying to make these points out to people who want to come in the comment section and talk a load of rubbish. Okay, so the average scrappage of a UK vehicle is around about 16 years. Okay, and they're saying by here that an EV lasts 18. Now, that doesn't mean that some can not last 18.4 years, and it doesn't mean that some can go past 18.4 years, but it's just, it's like the average. It's just data. Now, so let's read a little bit more. Let's get my eyeballs on this thing by here and read a little bit more. Robert Elliott of the University of Birmingham, UK, and his colleagues analysed nearly 300 million records from the UK's compulsory roadworthiness test called the MOT, which shows the age, condition and mileage of vehicles on the road between 2005 and 2022. This covered some 29.8 million vehicles in total. The results showed that EVs now have an average lifespan of more than 18.4 years. So not 3 years, not 5 years, not 8 years, not 10 years, 18.4 years. Now we all know, people who like EVs, we already know that the batteries in these EVs do last a lot longer than what they said in the beginning. We all know that, except for the anti-EV haters. Some reason they don't know it yet, even though there's electric cars older than 8 years still driving around. A perfect example, my daughter's EV is 11 years old, still driving around. So there we go. Proof's in the pudding, isn't it? Let's have a look now. What did I stop by here? So I'll say that again because I went off on a bit of a tangent there then. The results showed that EVs now have an average lifespan of more than 18.4 years, outlasting the average diesel vehicle at 16.8 years and almost matching the average petrol vehicle at 18.7 years. Now stop. If you're a diesel driver and your car's older than 16.8 years, stop it, right? We know there's cars that last longer. We know that, but come on now. Come on, be sensible, right? The average EV now covers 200,000 kilometres during its life, surpassing the 187,000 kilometres clocked up by petrol counterparts, but falling short of the 257,000 kilometres that diesels reach on average. And we're talking about averages, remember that. Elliot says the results prove that electric cars aren't only a viable alternative to petrol and diesel, but in some ways already beat them. Now, I'm going to say something. This is not data driven, this is just common sense, I suppose, in a way. Electric cars are getting better. Petrol and diesel cars have sort of got to the increments of improvement are so small that you can't even see them anymore. That's that they've got to the as far as you can go with them, basically. In fact, I'd say that modern petrol and diesel cars are less reliable than ones that were, pre-AdBlue and DPFs and stuff. There's a lot more things to go wrong. Now, that's not data driven, that's just my opinion. Where was I? I forgot where I was then. So what was I saying? Yeah, that's what I was saying. See, my mind went off somewhere else. Electric cars are getting better. They're getting more reliable and longer lasting. Now, if you follow along with battery technology, there's a lot of batteries coming out, and they're giving a million. Was it a 1,000,000 mile warranty, or was it a 1,000,000 kilometers warranty? Or was it 1.5 million? I don't know. There's loads of them around, but they're giving massive warranties on batteries. So the batteries going forward from new electric cars, batteries are not going to be the issue. The car's going to fail before the batteries, because eventually rust will creep in, or things, you know what I mean. As cars get to a certain age, they do start rusting, even though they've had all the treatments and stuff like that. Just cars do deteriorate after a certain amount of time, and I think that batteries, this is just my personal opinion, but I think we're getting to a point where batteries are going to outlast the cars. They just are, and they're getting better and better and better. So that's just my waffle about this story by here. If you don't like EVs, you can come in and argue your silly points about it, or you could say, I know somebody down the road who's EV, this, that and the other. Get in the comment section, and we'll have a look at your comment, and we'll see what we think about it. Anyway, if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ahoy!